Good afternoon, guys and girls. How are we doing today? Now, the thrust behind the second book, Entrepreneur to Ultrapreneur, was that around the world, be it in the UK, in the States, wherever we look, entrepreneurs are needed more than ever. Because the traditional economies cannot sustain themselves based on what they've been doing historically, right? So whether you guys realize it or not, the big heads of industry are looking towards the young people, guys like yourself, to make a change for the future. Otherwise, we're going to be in trouble. Now, looking at it statistically, the majority of entrepreneurs fail. That's just a fact, right? The majority of entrepreneurs who start up do not end up having a successful business. Now, I looked and I thought, well, if entrepreneurs are needed more than ever, but there's a high failure rate in entrepreneurship, I wanted to have a look at why that was happening, because subconsciously I'd been monitoring this whole thing for a very long time, since I was probably your age. And I'd been fortunate enough to be around some really, really successful entrepreneurs and some entrepreneurs that were really, really unsuccessful. And I was able to look and contrast and think to myself, well, what makes somebody really successful and what makes somebody really unsuccessful? And it came out in being this book which presented 100 new ideas and suggestions as to what entrepreneurs can do to become more successful. So that's what I'm going to share with you today, and just kind of give you a little bit of background and the thinking behind some of those sayings or ideas that I came up with. So the first one, this is the first saying in the book, and that is, be passionate about your business and not emotional. So when I first started, a lot of the businesses that I started up, or a lot of the things that I wanted to do, I was really emotional about them. I was really emotional about maybe getting into the music industry, or really emotional about getting into fashion, or buying into properties or stocks and shares. Those are things I was really quite emotional about, but I actually wasn't very good at any of them. I was only doing them because someone else was doing it, or I'd heard, you could make a lot of money with it. But because I was emotional, I wasn't able to think clearly and think objectively about, what I was doing, whether I was any good at it. And so therefore, because you're being clouded by this emotion, it means that you start to make excuses for why things aren't working, and you're not clear about when you should move away from something when it isn't working, and so on. And it's very different from being passionate, because being passionate about something is the ideal. So I'll give you another example. When I first set up one of my businesses, and I'd be working away at it, it'll be Saturday night, I'll be literally on my laptop working away, and friends would call me up, asking me to go to this club, to that party, and I would literally just say, no, I'm working, because I was more passionate about what I was doing than going out and enjoying myself. I was more passionate about what I was doing than going out to the cinema, hanging out with my friends, and all this kind of stuff. That's real passion. When you find that in a business, and when you find that you would rather work on your business or your enterprising idea than go and hang out with your friends or do something that you would otherwise enjoy, that's when you know you're onto something. And there's a very big difference between having that passion and being emotional about your business, which is what a lot of entrepreneurs end up being.